This is a case that will leave you sick to your stomach, and occurred in Spain in late 1992. Now, I actually never heard of this up until very recently, and when I checked it out, concerning the information of this case, it's already disturbing, but also the crime scene pictures they have. And they are pictures that I obviously won't be showing in this video at all because they are very graphic. Corpses that are decomposing and other stuff like that the police had to check during their autopsies to figure out exactly what the hell happened to these girls. And some of the pictures were so nasty that I almost felt like I was going to throw up looking at them. So I have a lot more respect for these people that actually have to do this for a living, checking these dead bodies, hoping to figure out what happened to them so that they can find justice for these victims. Because that's something that you really need to have the stomach for in order to do so. And this is the case of the Alcàsser Girls, and as I said, it happened in Spain in late 1992. What's also very, very disturbing about it is that it is involving 3 girls. Again, multiple girls. 2 of them were 14, I think that's what it says, and one is said 15. I'm just assuming here that those were their ages because it is in Spanish. So I hope I have it right. They look like young girls. So that's kind of what I'm going with. Now, I have to warn you though, it is very disgusting, this case, but I figured for the sake of their tragic demise, as they even describe it, I wanted to share it on CreepyNews. So it doesn't just end there, their stories. But what's even more disturbing to me is also the way the suspects sort of got away with it. They did get punishment, but in fact, one of them was actually already released a couple of years ago. And you'll understand why it's so disturbing because of the brutal crime that they committed. Now, the victims' names were Miriam, Antonia, and Desiree, and they disappeared on the 13th of November 1992 while traveling to a secondary school party that was going to be held in a nearby town. I think it's called Cooler, but it's Spanish, so it's probably pronounced differently. That's sort of what it looks like, it's written like. It was a popular disco located in the outskirts of Picassent. I already feel bad for mispronouncing all the Spanish names, man. I can't even speak Spanish. It was only 4 kilometers from their hometown of Alcasser. The day of their disappearance, they had previously visited another friend who was ill and declined to join them. Miriam asked her father, Fernando Garcia, to pick them up and drive them to the club, but he was suffering from influenza and was unable to do so. The girls thus tried to get to the disco by hitchhiking, as they had done the previous summer and as many teenagers did at the time. A young couple from Alcasser took them to a petrol station near Picassent. Then they got into another car, likely a white Opel Corsa, presumably driven by Antonio Angels and Michael Ricard. A lady saw them get in, but as it was dark, she was unable to see the back doors. From that moment on, all trace of the girls was lost, and during 75 days, posters were published in all languages throughout Spain and even abroad. According to a statement by Michael Ricard, the only person heretofore charged regarding the event, when arriving at Kohler, Antonio Angels told Ricard to continue driving. The girls began to scream, and Angels then pulled a Star Model BM gun and hit the girls with the butt, which broke some of their teeth. They headed to a crumbling abandoned house near a place known as La Ramona, in a very isolated mountainous area close to the Tos Dam. Jesus fucking Christ, just ignore my pronunciation of all these Spanish places. It actually pisses me off. I'm pissing myself off by knowing that I fuck up these names, but just listen to the details itself then, I guess. They tied up the girls, raped 2 of them, vaginally and anally, and these girls 14 and 15. Remember this. I know some people are into freaky shit. I know rape, that's always fucked up, but Some people are into freaky shit when they're adults. These were young girls and they were raped in manners that even adults usually like to skip. I'm talking about the anal part. As far as I know, it's not everyone's taste, at least not mine. Occasionally using objects like sticks. Apparently the perpetrators then went in search of some food and returned 2 hours later, raping the third girl. After all sorts of atrocities and humiliations that left the girls with various injuries and bruises, the attackers slept until morning, ignoring the cries and screams of the dying girls. When they woke up, they forced the girls to walk to a pit they had previously dug and beat them again. There they continued torturing the girls, and according to the autopsy, Daisy Ray suffered a traumatic amputation of the right nipple. It was likely done with a knife or perhaps pliers, and she was then stabbed twice in the back. The other girls screamed while being beaten with sticks and stones, almost killing them. They were finally shot and buried. Miriam's corpse displayed vaginal wounds caused by an object provided with sharp edges, possibly produced post-mortem. The killers picked up the spent cases and cleaned the car. Well, thankfully, even with these gruesome details, it didn't go unsolved, because that would be even more disturbing and I'm at a loss of words, actually, guys. I just feel sick to my stomach right now, even narrating these details. So what am I doing with my life again? Now, the aftermath was that an intensive search obviously was conducted to try to find the girls' bodies. Now, they were found on January 27, 1993, 75 days after their demise, by two beekeepers in a ditch located near La Ramona. The heavy rains of the previous day softened the land, and the corpses appeared from their improvised grave. It was soon confirmed that they had apparently been murdered, having suffered unimaginable tortures before they died. The Civil Guard police later found at the scene one of Ricard's gloves, a referral note of the Social Security on behalf of Enrique Engels Martins. Yeah, I don't even care if I mispronounce the names. If they're tied to these perpetrators, fuck them all. And a bullet case, that's what they found also. So they didn't clean all the spent cases. Too bad for them, but good for us. That's some justice there. They're on to them. TV channels quickly rushed to Alcasser to broadcast live and provide coverage of the grief of girls' families in the overwhelmed town. Antonio Engels was not at home when the Civil Guard police appeared in search of his brother, Enrique. He escaped while being hunted by the Civil Guard and was about to be captured in the town of Villa Marchante. The last trace of him in Spain was when he was near another town for a few days, after which he went to Lisbon and stowed away on board the container ship City of Plymouth. He is reported to have jumped overboard when the ship arrived off the coast of Ireland, and is assumed to have either died instantly or from subsequent cold and or drowning. Now you have to remember this part, because that's what disturbed me just slightly. I hope they're right about the part assuming that he died by jumping off that boat in the middle of nowhere in a sea, because if not, then this guy totally got away with brutally raping and murdering 3 young girls. So I really hope the guy drowned a painful fucking death. Now the other guy, he was released from prison in 2013, following a ruling by the Court of Justice of the European Union that indefinite prison sentences were cruel and unusual punishment. What do you think about that? This is such a cruel and unusual punishment for a guy that helped rape 3 young girls that weren't even adults, that were still fucking high schoolers, and raped them and tortured them. And then they say indefinite prison sentences are just too cruel for this person. You can't do it. He has to get out free again after pretty much 20 years. So I mean, I guess he was locked up for a while, but now he's free, a free man. They do say that he resides somewhere in a monastery in France, or at least that's what they think where he is. So maybe he went to the monk lifestyle, trying to better himself for his overall service to humanity. Well, I can appreciate if he did that, but I don't appreciate the fact that one of the guys escaped from a boat and they're just assuming he's dead, but who knows, man? Who knows? Who really knows for sure? Because some people have been able to swim very far in the cold water. It kind of depends on how trained you are to do so and how determined you are, and you never know with the perpetrator of this nature. And the other guy is already free, as I mentioned, so at the end of the day, the conclusion of this whole case is absolutely disgusting for the families involved. I think one of the family members of one of the girls said that he really wants justice concerning the guy that jumped overboard into the ocean. Like, he really wants to know for sure whether this guy's dead or not. And rightfully so. Because that just leaves for a lot of speculation and wondering for the rest of your life. Because what if he's still alive? As I said, that means he got away with murder, because who's gonna look for him then? He can change his identity, he can do all sorts of stuff. It's absolutely disgusting. This whole case disgusts me. It disgusts me that human beings can even do this to others. I don't understand it. It's absolutely fucked up. And I'm gonna leave it there because I actually have nothing else to say other than vulgar things and being completely pissed off the more I think about it. Anyways, I hope all of these victims are resting in peace. And these guys, well, let's not get into that. As always, dear viewer, have sweet dreams.